afternoon and welcome. Hi, my name is Michele Jutrisa and I'm an independent demonstrator here in New South Wales, Australia. Now, for some reason, I feel like I'm looking very crooked. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, and I feel like I'm looking a bit blurry, but that could be my dirty glasses. But I'm here. That's the main thing. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. It's always great having people jumping on, and we all have a lovely chat together, which is great. Now, I'm just having a quick look on here because I noticed the other day that I'm now able to zoom in, but I'm not quite sure where it is. Just having a really quick look whether it's not on there. It's not there. I will have to look a bit more into this at another time, I think. Yeah, not quite sure where that would be. Should have taken more interest in it when it came up. So, is that one? No, I don't want that one. That's not it. So please jump on. At the moment, I feel like I'm talking to myself, but that's okay. Don't mind talking to myself because then I always give myself wonderful answers that I want to hear. No, that's not right. I love chatting to other people, so it's always great. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to jump on and say hello, what I am going to be working on today is the Storybook Moments. Now, this is one out of our mini catalogue, which is, let me just bring that up so you can see it. So there's our mini catalogue, and this is on page 23. It is a suite, so there's a lot of product in here. Just remember, you don't need to buy all the products. There are codes to use if you want to buy the whole suite, everything in it. There's also codes to use to buy individual stamp sets or the stamp and die bundles. Always worthwhile buying the stamp and die bundles because you get that 10% discount when you do. But if you feel that you can't buy the whole suite, you can break it down. So let's just have a quick look in the catalogue and let's see how they've broken it down for us. So this particular suite comes with 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets. So the Storybook Garden Patch stamp set and dies. Now, as I said before, if you purchase those together, hello, Leslie, how are you? Purchase those together, you get your 10% discount. Now, I will tell you at the moment, I'm not a gardener and I haven't purchased this one here, just for the fact that up until today probably really didn't interest me. Now I'm starting to wonder, should I get that? Then you've got your Storybook Friends, which are all your little characters, very much reminiscent of Bunnykins or Miss Potter. Yeah, can't think of her name. Hello, Lucia, you told me I'd like this one, and I am thinking I'm starting to like this one. And it also comes with these beautiful dies here. Now, these dies here will cut out the images on your DSP, and then you have these lovely frames. And that's probably one of the reasons why I like this suite is I love these frames. You've also got some ribbon and you've got a little bit of bling, and I don't know whether I got either of those two, so I won't be using those, but I did purchase the gingham paper. It's only a 6x6, but very, very pretty, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of that. And, of course, then you've got your designer series paper. Now, with this particular designer series paper, it also comes with 2 sheets of die-cut designs. So it's the same design and you get 2 sheets of that one. And also, as I said before, your dies do cut out some of these images, like some of the ones on this page here. And I'm sure the one over here too with the wheelbarrows and everything, because you've got your No, you haven't got your wheelbarrow in there. You've got your pots. So let's just have a quick look. Yeah, you probably could cut out those pots. There'll be just certain items you can cut out and certain ones that you can't. Hot one in Penrith today. Yeah, it's supposed to be hot here, but I haven't been outside, and my craft room is actually quite cool, which is good. Beatrix Potter, thank you. I knew it was Potter. I don't know why I came up with Harry Potter. Very opposite to Harry Potter. But as you can see here, you've got a code up the top here where you can purchase the whole suite collection, which is everything in the collection. And then you've got individual codes that break it up. Now, just remember, when it comes to the stamp set, buy it as a bundle. You can buy them both independently, and they are coded down here. But if you buy them as a bundle, you get that little bit extra discount on it. That discount is already absorbed into that suite collection, by the way, so you're not getting an extra. They've already taken into account the 10% off each one of those bundles. That makes sense. So that's what we're going to play with. I don't know whether there's any more pages on it. Yes, there is. Look at all these beautiful things you can make. You can colour them with your watercolour pencils. You can colour them with your blends. Stamp on watercolour paper and use your paint brushes. The dies are all a little bit interactive, where you can they have little slits in it, so then you can add your veggies into your slits. As I said, that's the one I haven't got at the moment, but we're going to have a bit of a play here. So this is my first play with it, and I'm going to get rid of that because I'm rambling a little bit. Let me see. Hello, Deborah. Great to see everybody jumping on. So what I've been doing this morning, I have been, besides writing up my email, which will be going out tomorrow, if anyone would like to receive a newsletter from me, either let me know, or jump onto my blog, which is butterfliesandbows.com, and you'll see a pop-up for my newsletter. So I've got that ready to go for tomorrow morning. But I have been going through some of my old card designs that I've used in the past. And why reinvent the wheel? Let's make something that I've made before, but let's this time use current product. So I've already started in pre-cutting my cardstock. Now, I don't have all the measurements written out for you. I'm sorry. I just wasn't that organised. I was supposed to only take 10 minutes working on my newsletter today, then finish it up tomorrow, but I ended up doing a whole lot today, so it took a lot longer than I thought. Now, this is going to be a book fold card. It is a little bit of a fun fold. And so what I've got here is I've got a piece of cardstock, and this measures 21 centimetres by 14.9, and I've scored it in the middle at 10.5. So let's fold this, and of course we fold it with our mountain in the middle, and grab my bone folder, because I do want to make sure that this is all folded up very squarely. And I don't know whether it's how I score it, but sometimes I find I don't always quite get my score lines as squared as I would like with our cardstock. So I'm just going to use, I'm going to bring my trimmer in just to give me a bit of a helping hand with doing this. I want it that way. So I want to just going to pop this right into that corner there. And I am going to bring that down also into the corner. Just square that completely off. That just helps hold it all there in that position. And then I'm just going to press that down with my bone folder. There we go. So let's just remove that. I don't normally do book fold cards, but this one here is a fun fold that works really well with a book fold. So there's our card base done. And then I have another piece. Now this is all for our card base. And this piece here, let me go back to my measurements. Excuse me. This piece is 10.5 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and I've scored it 2 centimetres in. Let me just double check. Yep. or 8 centimetres. So this is 10 centimetres across, 10.5 down, and I've done a score line at 2 centimetres, which is this outer one here. Now I've done another score line, which is at, so that score line there is at 8 centimetres, or 2 centimetres from your right-hand side, 8 centimetres from your left. But I've done a second score line about 3 millimetres across, so that's at 8.3. Okay, there's a reason for that, because there's going to be lots of layers in this card. By the time we've got all the layers, I was just a bit afraid that it was going to not close up properly. So by adding that extra line, we're creating, I should say, a little bit of a extra depth of this piece here. So we need to score and burnish these. So I'm going to do that first along that line there, and then I am going to gently fold this, because it is to get that, because it's so close together, you do need to sort of be gentle when you fold it, because you don't want to fold it in the wrong spot. And we're going to burnish that one as well. So what I've created there is like an extra little wall. It's like the spine. Okay, so it just looks like that. And that's just going to give us a little bit extra depth. It doesn't have to be too big. It's just a little bit, and you'll see why in a second. So on this flap here, because that was 2 centimetres there, we've taken up that extra 3 mil to make up that spine. So we've got about 1.7 left. In that 1.7, I'm going to add some tear and tape. And I'm going to add it fairly close to, just want to square that off a little bit, I think. Just going to get rid of that little bit of tape there and just square that corner a bit. Not stick it all over my fingers. Oh, I'm having one of those days. Who else has those days where everything just seems to be a little bit happening all over the place? And at the moment, I feel like I'm going 100 miles an hour. So if I sound like I am, please just tell me to slow down. So I'm going to pop 2 rows of this tape, because I really want this to hold. And it's in that section, which is about 1.7 wide. So that will fit 2 rows of tape in there nicely. So this is sort of like forming a double book fold. Pop that there. Give that a really good burnish. And here's our card again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that down like that. But what I want to do first off is just put a couple of pencil marks at roughly. So I've got that. I'm just eyeballing this at the moment. I am using the grid on my mat here to help me as well. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. So I just want to take that up just that little bit more. I'm going to open this actually, so that makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to do, that looks roughly about 4.5. So I want this to be adhered into that area there. So I've just popped a couple of little marks. Don't know whether you can see them too well. Yes, I can. And this I'm going to adhere into those areas. So grab my take a pick tool. If you have difficulty getting this backing off the tape, just give it a really good burnish with your bone folder, and that will adhere the adhesive tape to your cardstock and make it a lot easier for lifting off that backing strip. Okay, so with this folding in that way, because we want this to fold across, and we're going to line it up with that first score line, which is at that 1.7 mark. Pop that there and on there and give that a really good burnish. So that's our basics of this card. So this card's going to fold across that way and fold across that way like that. Hello, Sue. How are you? You're not too late, Sue. You've just missed me gabbling on. That's all. You're probably lucky. Okay, so let's have a look how we're going to decorate this card. Now, I've still got a lot of this up in the air, so if you have any ideas, please jump on and let me know. But I'm going to start with taking, so the cardstock colour I've used here is Misty Moonlight, and I've also chosen boho blue to go with it. Okay, I've got basic white, a couple of pieces of that, and I'll give you the measurements in a minute. And then this is the plaid I've decided to use. So what I'm going to do to start off with, this piece of boho blue is 10 by 14.4, and my designer series paper is 9.7. Making sure I got it right. Yep, 9.7 by 14.1. So I go down increments of my card base by 0.5 centimetre, which gives me my mat. And then if I want to go smaller again, I take it down an increment of 3 millimetres. So that gives me 1.5 all the way around my designer series paper, 2.5 all the way around my mat, thereabouts. Yep, the mat to my base. Okay, so let's glue those two together. Find our glue. Oh, I still haven't got a new bottle out. I said last week I've got to get a new bottle out. So I hope everybody has been keeping busy and had a trouble. I had a friend of mine came and joined me yesterday, and we had a morning of crafting where I managed to sort out all my felt and then started creating my hydrangea, if anyone saw that. And I'll just let that ooze a little bit. So I'm going to grab that lid on there. Just going to let that dry. I've just got a little bit of glue that's oozed out. I've got a little bit too close to the edge there. So just got a bit of glue on my hands. And then this piece here, we're going to adhere onto the front there. So let's do that. And then I will see if I can fix up that oozed glue stickiness. Yeah, so I had a good day yesterday, but I've got quite a few of those felt brooches to make. Got until June to make 2 of them, and then last night I received another couple of orders. Thank you. Believe it or not, I've used a Stampin' Up, an old hydrangea Stampin' Up set to do that. They're dies. So it really wasn't that hard. It was just time-consuming stitching on, embroidering all those little flowers on. But that's what I enjoy doing. So I've got a bit of glue that's come down to there, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy and just take away that stickiness by just popping some of that powder on there. Now you can use that'll just remove some of that stickiness, but you can use products like this. I don't even know what brand this is now. It's disgustingly dirty. And that removes glue and that from areas. Probably, but you've got to be very careful. I think I said last week, don't use things like this. Sometimes I use a white eraser. Don't use it on your two-tone cardstock. It'll just take all your colour out of your cardstock. It just rubs off because they're dyed, not like it's just printed surface, not dyed right through like these particular papers are. And even on some of your designer series papers, you still have to be very careful, test out a piece first. I'm not worrying too much about this one because I usually find that they're pretty okay. But anyway, that's just removed any of the stickiness, and any surface glue that was still there, I've just removed that by rubbing that on there. Sorry, what did you need to make? Oh, Sue, you've got to go onto my page. I've been making brooches. Where's my phone? I don't have it here with me, but I've got a picture on my phone. I go to a craft weekend. My phone is here. I go to craft weekend every year in Mittagong, and you just take whatever you're working on, you want to work on. And a few years back, I created a brooch using Stampin' Up dies by cutting it in felt. So that's it there. And yeah, I've had a couple of people put in orders for them, and I put that onto a couple of Facebook pages last night, and I've received more orders, which is nice. So it's nice to get a bit of reward for something that you enjoy doing. It's like your card making. It's always nice to get comments or, a little bit of reward sometimes for doing something. Okay, so that's what I was doing yesterday, and I've got to do some more on it today. How long do the brooches take to make? Oh, Lucia, it's hard to say. It depends on how much work you put into it. That one I probably spent about an hour probably cutting everything, maybe less than that. I put wire in the stem and in the leaves because using a Stampin' Up die where the stem is and the leaves come off the side, you've only got a couple of millimeters of felt, and that means the felt's very, very weak in those pieces. So I actually based down wire on the inside of it, which gives it strength and stability. It also means I can bend the leaves to give them a bit of shape. So that takes a little bit of time, and then everything's sandwiched. So you have two pieces of felt and the wires sandwiched in between, and then sort of then stitching all that together, but very delicately stitching it together, because you're still working with things that you could, if you're too rough on it, you could easily pull them apart and then you've ruined all your work. So until I actually have, if I bring up that photo again, until I have this stem here and these two leaves stitched together without that flower head like that, stitched together and stitched all around, because there's like two layers, and then this all wrapped, it doesn't have any strength. So there's a fair amount of work just doing those leaves and doing that stem. And then the flowers was just, lots of different coloured felts, all putting it together, not really worrying about being in any particular order, just filling in holes. It still has to be stuffed, and there's a brooch back put on the back of it. But I sold one 2 years ago, and now I've got another 3, maybe even possibly a fourth one. But it is getting to the point I want to try doing something different. I also did not last year, the year before, I did gumnut leaves. Again, had used wire and stitched, but I just used the wire on the top and stitched it on the surface. But it's my every June I go to this embroidery weekend, and it's not a teaching thing or anything like that, so no one's teaching me or I'm not teaching anyone. I just take it's just 3 days of sitting there, and it's like having a scrapbooking weekend or a card making weekend. It's run by a local patchwork shop, and basically you take your embroidery. Some people take their hand quilting, some people take knitting, lace making. It's really good going around looking at what everybody's doing, but it's something I've got into in the last couple of years, is playing with felt, embroidering with felt. I'd love to make more and sell them more, but I sent a brooch over to England to my sister in September, and she's been getting so many comments of people wanting to see more. So I was sort of like, okay, looks like I'm getting back into doing some more of that. So I'm now trying to work out a balance between doing card making, felt embroidery, and all my alterations. Nothing like being busy, is there? Okay, so there's our card so far. So we've got an insert. So I've cut a piece of basic white. Now my question is, do I leave that with that and then just a little piece of the plaid to go on there? Or should I put in a little bit of the boho blue? So what does everyone think? I'm sort of thinking at the moment, and this is why I've done that little bit of a gusset or spine. It's because I'm sort of thinking maybe of putting in an extra layer in there, because I think just to bring in, because inside then if I don't have that extra layer, it's just all misty moonlight, except for like it's got no, these colours in the plaid aren't relating to anything. Does that make sense? So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to trim this down a bit. So this card is very much a work in progress today. So this, I cut this piece here at 10 by 14.4. So now I'm going to cut it down to 9.7. 9.7, not smaller. So I'm cutting my 3mm off. And I'm going to cut my 3mm off here as well. Now this piece here is now going to be too long, so I'm going to cut this down to 14.1 as well. And I've cut this piece in such a way, because it's an offcut from that piece at the front. I'm hoping I've stuck it the right way around. Yep, so that's going to follow that stripe going across. I haven't worried about the stripe going down. I've been more keen about the stripe going across. So by keeping that, that's going to match that there. So that's following the same as that. So let's pop a little bit of glue on here. We'll glue that onto there, and then I think by adding this boho blue, I'm going to miss boho blue. Really love this colour. And I've just got to remember, I've just got to cut that one down too, because this one here is still at 10.5. Good thing I thought about that before I tried to glue everything together. Yeah, it does make it pop, Marie. Okay, so I want to cut this down because this is at 10.5 and I want it to be 10, and I want it to be 14.4, not 14.9. Now I will try to get this all written up tomorrow and all the measurements and everything onto my blog. So let me just double check, make sure that's going to fit much better. So you'll have all those measurements there over the weekend if anyone wants to try recreating this card at all. I've decided I'm going to try and put together, well, at the moment it's just my scribble book, an ideas book of all the different cards that I have made and I really love. And I'm going to pop it onto my Pinterest sketches of all the cards. Yeah, just the basics, because I mean, once you've got the basics of the measurements for the base of this card, then it's just a matter of working out where you want to put all your layers and how you want all your layers to go. I've probably popped that on a little bit crooked, and I don't think that's going to move. It's stuck now. Okay, No one on a flying horse will notice. That's what my grandmother used to say. So just going to glue this now on the inside. We might put a bit more decoration on there later once we've worked out how we're going to decorate this card. So by popping that down onto there, and the fact that these two pieces, this piece and this piece are the same colour, you're not going to notice too much that piece actually goes in underneath. So it gives it, it hides it a little bit. If you had this piece in a different colour, it probably would show up that you've got that in there. But it's only just going to be just that tiny little bit there. So now I'm going to fold that one that way and that one that way. So we're going to decorate this. Now, if you wanted to, you could also pop magnets in here to hold this down if you wanted to do that. Probably if I was doing it again, I'd probably put my magnet underneath this piece, this layer of Designer Series paper, and then a magnet on here. You could put something else in here if you wanted to, such as another element like that. Again, just remember that because this is sort of folded and it's coming from this side here, you're either going to have to go quite narrow and you're going to have one side that's going to have less than the other. So if you're going to layer something like that, it's going to be layered like that. And so you could put a magnet underneath that and then it's going over the top. But you're just going to have to be very careful about the size of this piece. I'm not doing that for this card. I'm just leaving that like that. And then I'm going to have this over the top there. But as I said, you could put magnets and everything into there if you wanted to. I'm not going to because I've got to go then searching for my magnets and they're over there somewhere. Okay, so now we're up to decorating this piece here. Now this piece here is a piece of basic white. So the finished size of the front of this piece is 8 centimetres by the 10.5. So this piece I've cut at 7.7 by 10.5, 10.2. Let me just double check. Yep, 7.7 by 10.2 is this piece of basic white here. So I've got a couple of ideas. Let me see what you think. Now, going through the paper pack, I was looking at this piece here and I thought, oh, that'd go quite nice because it's got a little bit of a floral. It's the same colours as what I've got on there. But if I do that piece, it's then going to be how do I decorate it. But what I thought I'd do first is we'll cut it out and we'll have a look. So I wanted to show you how the best way to cut this out. If you have a look at this, you have got this piece here is in a section which is probably that quarter or that 6th section there. You want to be able to cut this so that you're not getting a pair of scissors and or getting your trimmer and just trying to cut a little bit in, a little bit out just to take that out. The easiest way to do it is sort of saying, okay, I'm going to forgo the pattern on the back. Because remember, we've got 2 sheets of this. So you've got another sheet. If you want to use that, you could use that and cut up your other sheet. But what I'm going to do, if you have a look at the design of this, you've got a central line right through the centre there, and that's at 6 inches or 15.2 centimetres. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that into my trimmer. Now this trimmer here, this line groove here is at that 6-inch mark. So I'm going to pop that into there and I'm just going to cut straight up that line. So this is cutting that out. It is a little bit out, but that's okay. And then that will enable me to cut that line there because that line's going straight through. So now I'm going to line that up in my trimmer and cut that. And then that will enable me then to cut that little piece there. Sometimes you just got to look at something and work out how does that jigsaw all fit together and how can I use it. So now we're left with this little piece. So this little piece here, I said before, I'm going to do this in a couple of different ways if I use this. So that piece can go onto there. Now this piece here I've worked out before is roughly the same size as my white. So I can either have it and not have the white edge, or I can trim this down a little bit and have a little bit of that white edge around it, which I think will make that pop really nicely. And plus we've got the white on the inside. So we're sort of following through with all the same colours. So my question is, am I going to use that and then put something on there? Now, I could say that that's it, done, after I've put all that together and put my sentiment on there, because that is very, very pretty like itself. But the other thing is, if I'm going to use the die cuts, which I think I want to do, is what elements out of the die cuts is going to work on there. I do have all the frames on here, because at one stage I was thinking of cutting out maybe a frame in the misty moonlight. I don't know. I'm thinking I like this. I really like the look of that. But it's what I'm going to put in there and how I'm going to decorate it. What sentiment. So let me trim this piece down and let's go from there and see what we come up with. So this piece here, so as I said, this piece, the white piece is 7.7 by 10.2. So this piece I want to go 7. I want to again remove 7.7, move 3 mil. So that's going to make it, well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 7.7. If I move 3 mil, I've got to get it down to 7.4. So I'm going to actually go, and I don't mind it being a little bit out, but I'm going to go to 7.5 and just trim that off. Then flip this around because I want to take it off evenly on both sides, and I'm going to go 7.4. So I'm really only taking off 1 mil. And we'll have a look and see how we go. Then top and bottom, I want it to be, so it's 10.2. So let's just have a look. Yep, it's pretty much 10.2. So I want to make that at 9.7. So I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to take that down. I'm just going to go fractionally over that 10. So I'm cutting off a bit more than a mil. And then on the other side, I want to go to 9.9. So I'm going to cut off a mil there. So I've just cut off all those tiny little pieces. Yeah, I was looking at some of those tiny little critters. I was also looking at the fence. Anyway, we'll play in a minute. So that should fit nicely in there and leave that little bit of a blue trim. So I think that's just so pretty. Don't necessarily want this to be a baby's card. I've actually pulled out some stamp sets because I wanted a happy birthday. I didn't want a welcome baby or hello friend. Sort of thinking about how I can use this, because it's put a lot of work into a card like this, and you do want to have it so then, you know, it's not limiting who you can give it to. Yep, I'm really happy with that. And then I'm going to now glue that onto there. Now the weight of all of this on that card is going to help hold that frame down, or this panel down, because before, see how that's sitting, I don't know whether you can see, it's just sitting up. By the time I put all that on it, it actually holds it down. It's not really a card that you can stand up too well, because you'd have to fold it like that. Because mind you, I've tried photographing these cards and they're not easy to photograph. But if it's a card you got lying down, someone's just enjoying it, it's not going to be sitting open or looking like it's opened all the time. So by the time you put all these layers on here, it will hold the weight And that's one of the reasons why I don't put a magnet down on there. But you can see, because I've put that extra spine 3mm through there, because we've got all those layers on the inside, it's actually giving quite a nice finish, rather than everything sort of jutting out from the side of the card. It's giving a nice squared off base. So let me just open that up, give that a good rub. So there we go. So there's that. Now let's have a look at some of the bits and pieces and the critters that we have got here. So I've already pulled out a few bits and pieces. I did pull out this fence line because I thought, well, I do like that because you've got the white in it, but it's where I'm going to sit it, and it's also where I'm going to put my sentiment, because I haven't worked out yet whether I'm going to stamp it on a piece of white or whether I'm going to stamp it up there. Let me show you what I've pulled out. Now, I don't know whether this stamp set is still available or not. I've got a funny feeling it's probably not, but I really love this one here. It's the Go-To Greetings, because you've got thinking of you, happy birthday, hello, just a note, and thank you, in the same greeting repeated 3 times in different fonts. So it's a really good, versatile stamp set. So I'm using one of these. Now I'm thinking of using happy birthday or just the hello in the stamp set here, which actually goes with the bundle. You've got hello friend. So I could also use that hello friend, but I'm not going to use happy spring because we're not going into spring. I could use happy Easter, but then I can't, I don't usually give Easter cards. Some bunny loves you. Yes, that's quite a good one. Welcome little one, but it's not a baby card. And thank you so very much. Well, I'm not actually making a card for to say thanks to anybody at the moment. So it's whether I use this hello or whether I use the happy birthday, or whether I use hello friend. So what are your thoughts? Because at the moment I've got Misty Moonlight ink, so I could actually just stamp it directly on the top there. I probably should have done that before I put all that together. Or we could create a banner, but if I create a banner, I probably don't want that piece. Let's just stamp those sentiments all on a piece of basic white, and then we'll work out what we want to do. So I've got some basic white here. So we could, let's stamp all of them. Then we can get a bit of an idea of what we're going to be looking at. Sort of thinking of doing a cheats way of stamping here for a sec. So we've got happy birthday. Pop that one there. We've got hello from here, which is only a little small one. I might just put the hello there for a second because, and then hello friend. Let's have a look here. There it is there. Because I suppose you could say hello friend and then wish them a happy birthday in the middle, inside the card. Now this is not going to work because there's 2 different types of stamps. So we're going to go back to, let's take all that off and we'll go back to a smaller block. So we're going to have a happy birthday. Hello friend, and then I'm going to just grab another one because we've got just the hello. And I had a little thought with that one. Now, where have I put it? I have got a container and I've moved it. Here we are. Of all these little pieces that I've already cut out. Now, we could use that little banner just for hello if we wanted to use that one. Or we could use a little circle. Just trying to think, is there anything else I can use from here rather than having to bit too small. That's the same size. Always good to have these little offcuts somewhere. That's a bigger one, but I think that's going to be way too big. Okay, let's just have a play. Deborah, you like the hello friend? Hello with Misty Moonlight. Okay, well, let's just try. We're going to be using the Misty Moonlight. Now, this is just the hello. Whoops. Maybe need to make that a little bit higher. I've got more. Got more, she says. Let's try that one again. See if I can get that up, just that. Sorry if my head's in the road. Just trying to line that up. Still not the best. So that's hello. I can try that a third time, but let's just put a hello in the middle of this one. So we've got a nice hello there in the middle of the circle. I'm wondering, is there a smaller circle with that little bit of... Can't remember whether they did a smaller circle in that. That's the one I've already got. No, I think that's the... There. That's hello. Then we have got happy birthday. And then we have hello friend. So they're all the sentiments that I've chosen. Love the floral, and there's a tiny critter. Yeah, I've already read that one, sorry. Okay, I'm wondering if I can have another third attempt to see if I can get that hello a little bit better placed. Usually I stamp things, then die cut, not die cut, and then stamp, because you do get much better. You can line things up a lot better. Trying to do things where it's back to front for me, doing it this way, but anyway. No, I'm not having any luck. I must have the sticker or something on that a little bit higher up, because I'm not getting any luck with getting that in the middle. Stamp it on there anyway. I'm not quite sure whether any of those are really any good. We've tried 4 times and I'm not trying again. So there are 3 sentiments. And we've stamped, and I'm not going to use that, it's too big. And I've stamped it on the hello on all of those as well. And then we've got these. So with these, I'm going to grab my trimmer. And let's just make sure I'm square. I think I am. I just want to go a little bit above that one. So we've got that one. I use the edge of different parts of the trimmer to line things up and then just try to move it fairly equally. There's that one. That one I'm not quite sure on. If anything, I'd probably go for that one or one of those. Don't think I like that hello there. Okay. So, happy birthday or hello friend. I think I'm starting to like hello friend. I think because it's small, it's tiny, it's not going to take up a huge amount of room. And I'm going to use my trimmer again to get this nice and straight because I want to flag those ends. Okay. So let's just flag this. I'm just going to cut that in the middle and then from edge to the center. Oops. Just didn't quite go, but there we go. Now let's see if I can do that just as well on the other side. So I cut about that far in. I'm just wondering whether I could take this just a fractionally narrower. Going in probably a bit less than half a centimetre. Keep those over there. So I'm actually quite liking that. Now, do we have the fence or don't we have the fence? What do we put with the fence? Now, I was looking at some of these little critters before because we've just got gardens. We don't have any thing there. We could put that little one. So I'm sort of thinking this could be, well, now it's hello friend. I probably couldn't do it to my mother. She's an avid gardener. I'm not. Or what other small little critters have we got here? So, because we could even take that down a little bit so the fence is sort of up higher, more behind him. Sort of covering his basket a lot there. I'm going to have to pull all these out, I think. You've got your little... That's quite cute because you're saying hello, friend, and then that's just peeking out of teacups, mouse peeking out of the teacup. But then do you need to have the fence? But I think the fence grounds it a little bit. I think if we didn't have the fence there, just looking like it's sitting. Okay. You love the fence and the white with it? Yep. So which one do we like? We've got this little fella here. We've got the teacup. I don't want to have any critters. I mean, some of these critters are quite big, and I don't really want to go too big because if you chose something like, say, for example, that, I mean, it's a completely different colour. There's not much, well, there's no blue in the mouse either, but you sort of got that. That's actually not too bad. I was thinking it might have been a little bit too big, but you probably could get away with it. Marie likes the teacup. What else have we got here? You got the scribble, but I think the scribble will need to sit the opposite direction. It could go over. We don't have to And the squirrel's got a little basket of goodies. A little flower. That's actually quite cute because he's got a little flower there. It's like he's got a flower ready to hand to somebody. I still think she might be a little bit too big. I like them being a little. I want to see a bit of that background. Yeah, to fit him in, he's almost going to have to go in the middle. I just don't think he's facing the right direction to go on that end. So I think I might be out. I'm agreeing with you at the moment, Michele. I think I'm more prone to go with that little squirrel, and his tail can just hang over that little bit. Or her. She's got a hat on. The bow. I think I'm liking that. Okay. Decision made. Let's put all this together. So, pop a little bit of glue on the back here. We've got to be very careful when adding glue to die cuts like this because they could very easily ooze out. So I'm actually going to start from the ends and do my ends and then pick a point or a couple of points in the middle. I've just done it very, very fine. I'm going to pop that up a little bit higher than half because whatever elements we sit on top will finish anchoring those down. Now, our scribble, I'm going to pop on with some dimensionals. So let's pop one there. Let's use up all these little bits on the sides here. And I'm just going to have his tail, or her tail, just sitting over a little bit, so having her sitting below that fence line. And then I just need to pop a few dimensionals on the back of this one. I'm going to use the mini ones for that. And I'm just going to pop my dimensionals under the friend part. I'm going to pop two there. So one on the end and one in the middle, because that's going to be sitting onto our screw a little bit. So a little bit of glue there on the end. Really, this is a very, very simple card. It's a very simple kit. Well, not kit, but suite of products. You know what I didn't do? I didn't take the backings off my... I'm going to take that off and then hopefully get it back down. I didn't take the backings off the dimensionals. I was trying to figure out why wasn't that sticking, because the backs are still there. Oh dear, one of those days. Let's just pop that there. That should all sit better now. There we go. So there's our card. Now there is one other place we could put a little bit more interest in it. If we open this up, we could put a little bit of something down here. And let's have a look. What have we got? Just want something that's got a little bit of flowers on it, probably. So I have got, I don't know whether this is going to be too big. So we have got here one of the die cuts has these lovely flowers. So if we wanted to, you could pop that onto there. Is there anything else we could use on there just in case? There's a butterfly. Let's just have a look at our little swirl again because there's no blue in it, but we don't really need a huge amount. Just to add a little bit of, because that's just picking up some of that coral colour in that, which I think I might just do that. I think that's quite pretty. And I'm not going to pop them up on dimensionals. I'm just going to pop glue onto the back of that. We don't need to put a lot on there. It's just to add that little bit extra, just to make the inside of our card look just as pretty as the outside. Whoops. Fold this one over, then fold that over. Now, I have seen this style of card done where they've put designer series paper on there and on that side, but I really don't think that really matters. As I said, if you wanted to, you could actually pop, an element on there. But I just, I've done the last one I think I did with this had a beautiful floral designer series paper that we had. So it's really, on what you want to have this all look like. But I just think that is just so sweet and so pretty. So, Lucia, I think I'm actually now sold on this kit. I mean, I did like it when I first saw it, this whole suite. I just wasn't quite sure how I was going to use it. But, yeah, I think I'm going to be doing this one a bit more. I've also got the scrapbook papers for this, but that one's getting a bit harder. I've got to go through all my baby photos and see if I've got any nice baby photos of my kids that I could use, because they're not apt to having babies yet. And, yeah, my nieces and nephews aren't up to having babies yet, so we're sort of baby-free at my family. So anyway, that's our card for today. I will try to pop those measurements and everything up as soon as possible. It may be up until Sunday. I will try to do it tomorrow morning, but I'll have to photograph all this first. But I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that's inspired you to maybe purchase this product if you don't already have it. Remember, this is available until the end of April, so you've still got another 2 months. Celebration finishes tonight, so if you are wanting anything on your celebration orders, get it in now. If you are still looking at buying the heirloom assortment and you want to help me out in my fundraiser, of course you can purchase that through me, and $7 from every sale is going towards Ping Pong-a-thon. You'll find more details about that on my blog and on my, I think I'll put it on my Facebook page. I know it's in my newsletter tomorrow. Yeah, let me know. I am placing more orders for that. So far I think I've sold 6 kits. It's not a lot. But my friend who I'm doing this for is very thankful for anything. If you feel that you don't want to buy the kit, but you still want to help out with Ping Pong-a-thon, head over to their website, which is at pingpongathon.com, and you'll find all the relevant information there as well. And you can also look up there and find out exactly what they do. They raise money to help with different organisations in Thailand and Cambodia trying to stop human trafficking. So, which is something that my brother-in-law in England was very passionate about. So I'm doing this not only just to help out my friend by raising money, but also to in memory of my brother-in-law who passed away, because it was something that he cared very, very much about. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'm glad you're all able to be here. We've gone from, what time is it now? Just after 2, so it's taken an hour, so that's not too bad, but I've done a lot of chatting too. So thank you very much for joining me. At the moment, I'm still only doing my lives on a Friday. I am going to get myself organised, so hopefully very soon I will be back to Tuesday nights as well. But otherwise, I'll see you all next Friday at 1 o'clock. Take care, have a great weekend, And everyone behave yourself. I don't know whether I will be. I'll try. Bye for now.